I feel like sometimes it comes to a point in life where you have to make that step. You have to make the leap of faith. You have to decide like, okay, I'm gonna take this risk. I'm gonna do it.
He tell me why to treat his face like a rose. Get somebody else to do it.
Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. As you guys can see by the title, today we are doing a quick little life update, and I just wanted to sit and chat with you guys. I feel like we made some major changes for the year.
Girl, what's going on?
And I haven't had a moment to actually like really sit and chat with you guys, like, you know, see where we are at, like you guys know where I'm at mentally. And yeah, like we really haven't had that time to really sit and chat and connect. We just been like grinding and going and pushing out vlogs. I mean, I do speak to you guys in between the vlogs, but I feel like we haven't had like a dedicated sit down video where we actually, you know, like chat and connect. So today in this video, I'm going to be going over like 5 major topics or 5 major life updates for me, and that is going to be living alone, the pros and cons, why I actually moved out, fighting depression, starting back therapy, relationships and friendship, and last but not least, balancing work and content creation. And without further ado, let's dive straight into it. I'm going to try to make this as candid and as raw and as authentic as I can. So first, let me start. So you guys know I've moved in alone. I've been living now alone for 6 months. I moved in here in March and it is like August now. So I've been living alone for 6 months now, and I don't think I ever really addressed why I moved out. It was just a personal choice for me, honestly. I didn't have any real reason to move out in terms of there was no family drama. I didn't have any issues with my living conditions. I didn't have any issues with my mom or my stepdad. Like, it was just a personal decision that I wanted to make for myself, and I felt like for a long time, and I also had turned 30 last year. So, before I moved out, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I was in the process of like trying to get a house. I was gonna purchase land and then actually build a house. That didn't kind of work out. So I was kind of like in the battle of, do I want to just continue to live home until everything is perfect, until, you know, like I get that land and I get that house, or, you know, do I want to move out and start to live on my own and then try to navigate and figure out life in between. So I feel like it was a constant battle between long-term goals and short-term goals, and I felt like fulfilling my short-term goals first, it would have led me to a better long-term outcome. And my short-term goals basically was having a space where I can feel creative, having a space where I can like start to experience what it's like living alone, what it's like being responsible, because honestly jumping into a mortgage is like a big deal. Like, that's a huge decision. That's like 30 years of your life. Like, I can jump and live alone. I can sign a 1-year lease. After 1 year, if I don't like it, if it don't work out for me, I could just leave and go back home. That's it. If I do get a mortgage and I get a house, if it don't work out for me after 1 year, I am stuck trying to sell the house. And in the markets that we are living in now, like, houses aren't that easy to sell. So I really didn't want to take on that large financial responsibility and burden, and, you know, like not having lived alone, because I do have friends that jump into that space at a young age, and I like saw how that affected them, you know, having that big responsibility. Because like one of my friends, he had his house from like 24, 25, and I saw how that affected him like throughout his entire 20s, you know, having that huge responsibility, having to do all these things. So I feel like for me that would have been like a major jump for me to just jump straight into house ownership. And again, I have my short-term goals, which like building a house would have taken me like what, probably a year and some, the entire process. And that would mean that I would have had to put back my content and my creative process for like another 1.5 years. And when I say put back my content and my creative process, I felt like living home and being in my childhood bedroom, it kind of like trapped me in this mindset where I was feeling stuck, I wasn't feeling creative, I wasn't feeling inspired, and I really wanted to change that. And I was very comfortable living at home because, you know, like, I just had my own personal little bills. I didn't have to pay rent, I didn't have to pay electricity, I didn't have to buy groceries. Like, I didn't have to do anything really but my own personal stuff. So I felt like I was very comfortable. And in order for me to grow as a human being and grow as a young adult and, you know, like shift my mindset, I felt like I needed to take myself from outside of my comfort zone and put myself in an uncomfortable situation. And I felt like me getting this apartment, and even like the type of apartment that I got, like for a long time, like I had a whole dream of what apartment I want to live in, and I was even like talking with the idea of like moving overseas, because I honestly was gonna move to either Canada or New York just to get like a whole different shift of environment, not only home wise but country wise. And January I had traveled to New York, and we had actually looked at a lot of apartments over there. And I just said, you know what, Hakeem, when I saw this apartment here in Barbados and it came out, I was like, whoa, this is exactly what I want and what I was looking at in New York. It's almost like the same price. Maybe I can try to live here for 1 year in Barbados, see how it works out, see how my content works, see how I feel in a new environment, and then from there I'll move on, you know, and maybe if I still want to move overseas, I can still do that. So this apartment honestly was like 2 times my budget for what I had. But I feel like, again, I had to put myself outside of my comfort zone. I had to get myself in a mindset where I feel like I need to be inspired, I need to push, I need to grind, because obviously you don't have these responsibilities that you didn't have before. So it would have like opened up my mind a little bit more, to be a little bit more motivated, to be a little bit more hungry, to push myself a little bit more. And I feel like that's what I have done. So that's the reason why honestly I moved out. I know my mother would have tried to talk me out of it, so I honestly really didn't tell her until like I got the keys for my apartment. Because you know, your family, like I feel like they always want to look out for you and they always have your best interest at heart, but still I feel like it's more of a scarcity and close off mindset where, oh my god, you sure you want to do that? Oh my god, it's a huge responsibility. I mean, it is, and she's absolutely correct, but I need that. I am 30 years, well, I'm 31 now, but at the time I was 30 years old, so I needed that. I needed that push. I needed to get out from under my parents, and I needed to find my own way. You know, like, I mean, I do have my challenges now, but again, I fight through them and I just try to find my own footing, and I try to find my own way as a young adult navigating life alone. What I would say some of the pros of living alone is basically having that independence and having that freedom. It's like having a space where you can call your own, where you can, you know, decorate it how you want. You can do things how you want. I can move in my own time in. I can wash the wares when I want. I can shift around something if I want. I can walk around naked if I want. I can literally come in whatever time I want. I mean, when I was home, I could come in whatever time I want as well, but still, you know, like not having that inconvenience or not having that thought of inconveniencing somebody else is a very good thought. I really like the independence and freedom of living alone. And again, like I'm a very social person. I have my friends. I want to be able to like invite my friends over and not worry about, you know, having them be in somebody else's space, because obviously I was living with my mom and my stepdad, so me inviting my friends over to the house is like also having my friends intrude in their personal space, and that's something that I didn't really want to do. So like having that freedom of living alone is so good. Like it's like coming home from work and then coming into something that is your own. It's just such a liberating feeling, and I feel like it shifted my mindset completely, you know. And yeah, like I feel like that's one of the cons for me for living alone, like just having that total freedom, having that sense of like, you know, you're your own man, you're your own person, you have your own space. And that's honestly some of the pros for me. I would say some of the cons of living alone is having that financial responsibility, the struggles of budgeting. Everything seems to be way more expensive because now obviously I have my own bills to pay. So now I have my rent to pay, I have my light bill to pay, I have my water bill to pay, I have my grocery bill, I still have my own personal bills, I still have my car, I still have gas. Like I still have all of these things that are now my own personal responsibility. Whereas when I was living with my mom, it was my mom, my stepdad that was taking care of most of these stuff, and I would chip in where necessary or where I need to chip in. Now it's just me alone, so it's like it's just basically me. So having that financial responsibility, I feel like it's a con. And I mean, if you're in a relationship or you have someone who live with you, a partner or something like that, that can be split. Right now it's just me living alone, so like every single thing falls on me. And it's been difficult. It's been a lot to adjust to, because now I move away from having a lot more free cash where I can do things that I want before even having to second guess it or think about it. It put me in that mindset now where I have to be a little bit more mindful. I have to budget more. I mean, I used to budget before, but I never really used to stick to my budget. So now I feel like I'm having a little challenges with that, because then I have to remember, like, Hakeem, if you don't stick to your budget and you end up in trouble at the end of the month, like that's all on you. It's not like if you're home and you at the end of the month you don't have to worry about groceries or rent or anything. It's like it's literally on you. So I've been struggling with that, to be honest, and I think that is, you know, yeah, like that's really one of the cons for me. Also feeling lonely. I feel like I'm a person, I love my own space. I love to be alone. Again, I love the freedom of living alone, but sometimes I do get lonely. I would not lie. I do get lonely because when I was home, I obviously had my mom, So when I come home from work, I expect to see her at home. You know, I talk to her or whatever. So now I still try to call her ever so often, but sometimes I do get lonely. Like I sit and I watch TV and I'm like, oh my god, there's no one else here. It's only me. Like, who am I gonna talk to? Like, what am I gonna do? There's literally nobody else here. Like, it's just me. So I feel like sometimes I do get into that. I do suffer from being lonely, and that's like really one of the cons for me. So mostly know that you're the financial burden of having to pay all your bills and having to stick to your budgets and having to know when to give up on certain things and be like, okay, yeah, I'm not coming to this event, yeah, I'm not coming to this outing because I know I have responsibilities. So I feel like that's been very difficult for me to get used to, and it's been a struggle. But overall, I wouldn't say that I regret my decision. I 100% stand behind my decision, and I feel like I've grown in many ways. I've grown content-wise, I've grown personally, I've grown in my own mindset. I've learned to appreciate myself even more because there's no one here but me. So I try to do things and I find time and do things that, you know, keeps me occupied. I feel like that's for living alone. If you are watching this and you are struggling on whether you want to move out or whether you want to live alone, I feel like sometimes it comes to a point in life where you have to make that step. You have to make the leap of faith. You have to decide like, okay, I'm gonna take this risk. I'm gonna do it. And I know there may be family members that are telling you, oh, you don't need to go and rent, you know, save that money and buy a house, save that money and buy some land. I mean, they are right, but still, like, you gotta start somewhere, and you just can't like jump from the bottom straight up to the top. So you just can't jump from living at your parents' house straight to buying land and house. It don't always be that easy, and getting land and house is not easy, especially in Barbados. So I would say like rent. Nothing's wrong with renting. I mean, you don't want to rent forever, and yes, it's always good to save up your money towards land and house, but I still feel like having that experience of renting and having that initial, you know, experience of living alone kind of prepare you for going into mortgage and land and that kind of stuff, because being a house owner is a whole different level. Like, there's nobody to call on, there's no landlord. Like, if anything want fixing, is you. Pipe broke, is you. Toilet broke, is you. You got a leak in the house, is you. A hurricane come, is you. Outside maintenance is you. Like, everything is you. Me now, something happen, I call my landlord, hi, yes, can you fix this? Blah, blah, blah. Luckily, since I've been here, I had no issues, so I haven't had to call him for anything, basically, really. So he has a dream tenant, cause I haven't had a call for anything. That leads me into my second topic, which is depression. Yo, I would not say that I am a depressed person, but what I would say is I feel like there are times where I feel down. I won't say depressed, and depressed is a strong word to use, but there are times where I just feel down when I just feel like, oh my god, like this is a lot. Did I make the right decision? Like, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like life is just so much sometimes, and just dealing with everything, dealing with work, dealing with content, dealing with living alone, having to budget, having to pay all these bills, like all of that is a lot. And if you don't have a strong support system, like sometimes I catch myself falling into a slight depression because I am an overthinker, and I do overthink every single thing. I overthink every single thing. Even back down to my content, I overthink. So that has been a major challenge for me. And as I said, there are times where I just feel like demotivated. I just feel down. I just feel like, oh my god, this is too much. Like, life is too much. I mean, I don't get deep down to where I fell into like the pits of depression. I just feel like I have those days where I feel demotivated and I just feel down and I feel sad. I think that's what I would say. And also another thing for me in terms of like depression, I feel like this year I've had like many major changes, and not only physically, I've just had so much major changes in my life that I feel like I haven't really had time to adjust to it or cope to it. And this was going from kind of the end of 2023 into early 2024. And I feel like last year I went to Colombia for 1 month and I worked there for a month, and you know, I kind of got a taste of like what it was like to live alone for a month. You know, just go work, come home to your apartment, you know, doing food and stuff like that. So I felt like that was a great moment for me and a great realization for me. And having come back home, and then I went on vacation in November to Canada, and I was also there for 2 weeks and I was in an apartment, and I felt like again that was so liberating for me, like having that space, being there alone, and you know, like just feeling what it's like to have that life, because it wasn't a high-rise apartment. And then when I came back to Barbados, it was like back to regular program, back to my bedroom, back to my house. So I felt like coming on the end of 2023, I was really going through it mentally, because like there are so much major changes that we're going through and so much things that were happening to me. And I was like, Lord, for 2024, please take me off of your strong soldier list. I do not want to be on the strongest soldier list anymore. I cannot take it anymore. And bam, at the beginning of 2024, the Lord was like, boy, I'm not ready to take you off. You are on the top of my strongest soldier list. And it was such a bummer. It was like such a life-changing experience for me. And it's not something I speak about or spoke about. I don't speak about everything. Like sometimes I go through my own battles alone and people kind of don't know what other people are going through. So I would say give people grace because you never know what people are going through. And I feel like I'm the person where I go through all of my shit myself. I try not to like trauma dump everything on my friends or my family. So I would like go through everything myself. And I feel like also I am getting older. I'm not getting younger even though I know I look young. And sometimes I even forget that I'm getting old because I still look young. Like, you know, I could still pass for like a little 20 something, but I'm actually 31. So I feel like going through the major change of living alone, having to have all these responsibilities on your own, I mean having to like focus on content, you know, job, and having the responsibility of even supervising people at my job, and you know, also going through major changes with your body because again, you're getting old. So I feel like sometimes the way how our body used to react to different stuff when we were younger, I feel like as we get older, it becomes a little difficult to having to go through that change because things that your body would have withstand when you were in your teens and when you were in your early 20s, like when you get into your 30s, like your body can't withstand them kind of things anymore. Even like going out and partying and drinking, y'all already done know. I tell y'all, I used to be like, I could have go and party, come home at 5 o'clock, go work for 6:30, work the whole day, come back home, work another job, go eat. I was like, So you know, like I was going, I was putting my thing, I was prepping, I was moving, I was like, yeah, bam, I could do this little coffee, and I gone. No, if I go out, I became home so tired. Like if I stand up too long, my feet be swelling up a little bit sometimes. If I walk on my feet too long, again, sometimes your feet be swelling up. Like even could do my day. That's a long jump, my shoes was tight. Of course I'm a little spring chicken or more, even though I look like one. So like that took a toll on my feet for like 2 days. When I come home and take off them shoes, my feet was swollen. Drinking alcohol, again, right now when I go out, when I drink, it's taking me like 3 to 7 business days to recover. Before I could recover in hours. You know, as you get older, your body don't like produce a lot of things that I used to produce before. I mean, your body slow down a little bit in certain things that I produce. So now you gotta think about taking vitamins, making sure your body get enough nutrients, making sure you're eating healthy foods, because foods that you probably used to eat before, like if you eat them now, it kind of makes you bloated. Also, I think I was dealing with like a little gut health issues. I don't eat a lot of dairy, so really I don't eat like yogurt and them kind of stuff that like good for your gut health. So I feel, and I don't eat like a lot of fiber because y'all know like gluten and that kind of stuff does like affect my sinuses. So where I would try to get in a lot of fiber with like cereal and whole wheat bread and that kind of stuff, like I don't eat a lot of that. So like I feel like my diet was lacking fiber, so I was having like a lot of gut health issues where like I was feeling bloated. Like when I eat certain things, I feel bloated, I feeling gassy, like my stomach, I ain't digesting the food properly. So you know, even having to switch and say, okay, well now I need like probiotics and I need like more fiber in my diet, I need to get more vitamins because my body is not producing as much things as it used to produce before. So I feel like all of these major changes was like stressing me out. I was like, oh my god, no, I gotta take more vitamins, I gotta take more. That's rude. Yeah, give them a minute. Right, so now you gotta think about vitamins, you gotta think about your health, you gotta think about, you know, frequent visits to the doctor, then you have COVID, you're going out, you're mingling with people, again, your immune system ain't as strong as it used to be before, so then you gotta come home and like try to keep your immune up. So like all these major changes was like really stressing me out and it was really depressing me, and I just had to sit and tell myself, Hakeem, you're getting old. You're gonna need to change things in life. You are not young anymore. Yes, you're still young. Technically 31 is not old, but your body may shift. Your body shift in age, and when you hit over 30, I feel like your body shift. Even though you might not feel it right away, like there's slight shift in your body that you really might not know about. So just be mindful of that. And then I suffer from anxiety a lot. So again, because I overthink everything, like I feel like I get anxious because I'm like, oh my god. And I feel like I'm a person that I want things happen now. I need results now. So it kind of gets me anxious. And I've also had to, you know, try to get myself to a point where I don't stress over things that I can't control. And I think that's been a major shift for me in 2024, was actually not stressing and letting go of things that I can no longer control. Because I'm an overthinker, I would say a perfectionist, borderline a control freak. So I feel like I used to try to control everything. I used to stress myself out a lot. So now I feel like I just say, you know what, that's beyond me. I can't control that, so it makes no sense stressing about it. So I try to like, you know, like I've gotten to that point where if I can't control it, I don't stress about it. I just pray about it and I leave it in God's hand, and I just say I can only do what I can do. You just got to accept the situation and move on. And honestly, that's how I've had to, you know, cope with not going into these depressed episodes, and, you know, just facing reality, just saying, Hakeem, you just need to learn to adjust, adapt, and just keep it moving, keep it pushing. Let's talk about therapy. And I feel like therapy as an adult is so important, and I feel like you just don't wait till you go through a traumatic experience or whatever, or like something major happen to feel like you need therapy. I feel like for me, again, I am not like a very depressed person. Like, I'm a person, like, I get myself out of things quick. Like, I pull myself up quickly, and I try not to let myself get down into that depressive state where, you know, I am bedding for days, I am moving out the house and that kind of thing. Like, I try not to get there. But I feel like I used to do therapy before when I was going through a breakup, but then I had stopped. But I feel like now I need to start back doing therapy, because like there's so much major life changing moment in my life right now, and it's been kind of hard to adapt and kind of hard to cope with it. And again, I just don't like trauma dumping things onto my family or onto my friends, because like, let's just be honest, like everybody has their own issues, everybody has whatever they go through in life, like everybody has their own things to deal with. And yes, I have a good support system. I have friends who care about me. I have friends who will listen to me. But sometimes I just feel like, even my mom, like sometimes I just feel like I don't want to burden people. And I feel like that's where I feel like I need to start back therapy, because again, I would sit here and I would go through things on my own. I would have challenges and I wouldn't share with anybody because I don't want to burden people. So I feel like really starting back therapy and talking to my therapist and having like that professional opinion and having that outlet where you can professionally, like somebody who is professionally trained in psychology and dealing with humans, like I feel like that is something that I feel like everybody should explore. And even like relationship wise, which we're gonna touch on next, like just certain things that I feel at this age and at this stage in life that you may expect from people. Yeah, like just even discussing this kind of stuff with your therapy, because sometimes again I may overthink things and I don't want like constantly just bring up things to my friends and family, and I may want somebody like independent opinion, somebody who's not in my inner circle or entwined in situations to get their opinion. So I feel like I am going to start back therapy probably next month, because I need to find ways to cope with my overthinking, to cope with these life-changing challenges. Like I just need to find ways to cope, and I feel like therapy is a good way. So if you guys have ever been thinking about therapy, I know there are some friends of mine who don't believe in therapy. They believe like, well, you got paid to tell somebody your problems or whatever. Like I don't feel like you should got paid to just go and talk to somebody about your problem. But honestly, I feel like it's really worth it. And it may just seem like that to you, but when I did therapy before, I feel like my therapist had just given me different ways to think about different things and different perspectives that I would have not seen it, or that my friends would have not seen it, and then I would have been like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Like, oh really? So I feel like, yeah, therapy is very important. At one point too, like when I first moved in, I had spoke with my mom's pastor, and you know, I was just saying to her, I feel like every time I have a major success in my life, I'm always faced or hit with a challenge. So it almost feels like if I have to sacrifice something to get something. And she was saying to me, don't look at it that way. You know, look at it as just like God is preparing you for something. You know, He is putting you in situations to strengthen some of your skills. He's putting you in situations to look at things differently. Maybe he's preparing you for something big. But I just felt like even when I moved here, like at the beginning of this year, like I had like such shocking news, and I was just like, oh my God, I feel like every time you feel like you figure life out, every time you feel like you are moving forward in life, it's like bam, licking you right back down. It's like bam, here's another challenge. It's like bam, come hold this here, you think you get it? And that's how I feel like, that's what I feel like being happening to me. Like I feel like, because I had a promotion at work, you know, I get the new apartment, I get all these new things, and then I feel like boom, hold this challenge here, bam, hold this little obstacle here, bam, hold this here. And it just had gotten a little discouraging. So even though I had like major things to celebrate and major wins in 2024, I still feel like I've had challenges that I felt like, oh my God, like I had to sacrifice this in order to get this. Let me know if that's something you guys felt as well. Like, do you guys feel like when good things happen in your life, something bad always happens either before or after, and then you just feel like, oh my God, like did I have to like it almost feels like a sacrifice. It almost feels like I need to sacrifice X to get Y. I don't know. Let me know if it's only me that feel that way, if you guys feel that way as well. So let's get into friendships and relationships. For me, the stage that I'm at right now in life, I feel like my friendships are those where we don't need to speak every single day. Life is already as hard as it is, Like, I'm already doing a ton of things. I'm already just trying to balance YouTube, I'm trying to balance Instagram, I'm trying to balance TikTok, I'm trying to navigate and adapt to living alone. Like, I'm also trying to deal with work, also trying to move up within the corporate workspace. Like, there's so much things that are going on in my life right now that I feel like the way I'm at with friendships right now is like no love lost. I still love you, we can still hang out and kiki at some point, but just know that we're not gonna talk every single day. Like, I might send you a meme, we can kiki and kaka, we might like share a little thing and we group chat and we might laugh about it and talk about it, but just know that, yeah, like if we don't see each other as often as we used to, like there's no love lost. I'm in a mental space where like I am getting drained, like life is draining. And again, it's like we change in life, and I feel like where I was 2 years ago is not where I am now. Before, you guys used to see me and Trey and Sharon out a lot. Like, we used to be out every single weekend, we used to be going, we used to be bram, we outside. In 2021 and 2022, like we was outside every weekend, bram, every weekend. And I feel like that's not who I am anymore. That's not where I'm at right now. And we all changed. Like, Sharon have changed, Trey have changed, a lot of my other friends have changed. So we do go out occasionally, but where we were 2 years ago is not where we are now. So I know y'all don't see me out with them a lot anymore. Like, we still cool, we still are friends, we still talk ever so often. Like, we talk in our group chat, sometimes I invite them over, we do like a little games night, a little kiki, a little kaka, and that's it. Speaking of, I haven't had them over for a while, so I actually need to invite them over and, you know, have a little chill little night, a little games night or a little something, because yeah, like that's just where I'm at right now. In terms of relationship, I feel like dating is so hard. Especially here in Barbados, and I feel like relationships nowadays, sometimes you don't know who to trust. Like, people be just doing whatever they want, and I feel like I'm at a point with relationships where if it doesn't serve me, if I don't feel appreciated, if I don't feel loved, like I just don't want to deal with it. I just can't. Like, again, as I said, I already have enough mental capacity to get through life and to get through the day. Like, I don't need extra shit that I don't need to deal with. So that's what it is when it comes to relationships for me. Like, we'll be building together. Like, are we making money together? Are we making moves together? Like, are we looking at progressing in life together? I'm at the stage where now, let me travel, let me explore the world, let me make memories, like let me motivate each other, let me push each other. Like, if you're not bringing all of that to the table, I don't want no parts of it. That's all I can say about relationships. And it's quite hard to trying to keep up with everybody, because as I said, sometimes when I come home on evenings, I have a ton of videos to edit, I have a ton of TikToks to edit, I film, I edit, I need to figure out what I'm eating for dinner. Like, I need to figure out so much things, and I can't call and talk to everybody every single day. As much as I would even like to call and talk to my mother every single day, like sometimes I don't. Sometimes she be coming home and she be tired, she go and sleep. I come home, I be tired, I go and sleep. Again, I know I gotta figure out what I'm cooking, then I gotta go to the gym, then I gotta film a TikTok, edit a TikTok, try to watch TV, try to relax, try to decompress, and then try to keep up with all these friends. Like, that's a lot. So just know, like, if we were friends, we cool still, but I don't need them friendships where I gotta talk to you every single day. You gotta hear from me every day, otherwise you feel like we ain't friends. Like, nah, that's not where I am in my life right now. I at these points in my life where we have adult friendship. We adult friends. So don't get offended if you don't hear from me every day. Don't get offended if we don't hang out too often, because just know your boy be here grinding. I always be working, I always be doing something. I always be filming, I always editing, I always doing something. I do occasionally find time to still go out, not with every single body. I try to rotate and say, okay, I ain't went out with Crystal in a long time, let me call Crystal, let me go and grab a little dinner, let me grab a little lunch, something like that. Like, oh shoot, I ain't see Sharon train a long time, let me invite them over and have a little games night. Like, that's what's happening, honestly. But friendship and relationships in your 30s, yeah, it's looking a lot different than what it used to look in my 20s. Last but not least, balancing work and content creation. Y'all, I would not lie, it is so hard, it's challenging. Having to work a 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever it may be, and then having to come home and do content is a lot. Sometimes I be up till 2 o'clock, 2:30 editing video just to make sure I get them up for you guys. And sometimes I just want to sleep, and I just be like, no, Hakim, you can't sleep. You gotta get out this video by X day, you gotta get out this video by such a day. And then they be like, oh shit, you haven't posted anything on TikTok for a while, you need TikTok videos. So I do try to plan out my videos, to be honest. I do try to plan them out, but it doesn't always work out. Or I might plan out the videos that I want to put out in a certain period, but then I kind of go on my mood. I try to be as authentic and organic as possible. So even though I can't plan out content for an entire month, sometimes I may plan a certain video or plan a specific specific video, but then when the time comes, I may not be feeling it anymore. And I don't try to force myself to do it just because I know I need to post content. Like if I don't feel it, I just leave it. If my creative mind ain't feeling it, or if my spirit ain't feeling it, or my heart ain't feeling it, or it doesn't excite me, I just left it out altogether. So honestly, it's very hard to balance the two, but I just feel like I love creating content. I love connecting with people, and I love meeting you guys. Like when I go out, I be meeting a lot of you guys, and you guys be telling me how much you love the content, you know, how you love to watch it. It lets you relax, you know. It's basically what you do to relax. Like people say they watch TV and they just put on the vlogs and, you know, like relax at the end of the night. So like all of that keeps me driven, and it pushes me to like continue with the content. But honestly, it's hard. Like the 9 to 5 is already hard on itself. So sometimes I be coming home and I be feeling so drained that I just sit on the couch, I just make something to eat, and I just watch TV and take a shower and I just sleep. So I feel for YouTube, I am kind of finding a flow on how to keep on top of my videos, but I have a bit of a challenge sometimes with TikTok. There are times where I may have enough content to push me through a week, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm on top of this, I got it, let me go. And then the next week I'd be like, oh shit, what should I do? I'm stuck. I can't get this balance, this is too much. And I'm also trying to like get back on my Instagram grind. And I think I was talking about this in my last video, where I feel like I've been trying to come up with a strategy on what I put on TikTok, what I put on Instagram, what I put on YouTube. I can't do all three at the same time all the time. So I'd be having to alternate on like, okay, I show this on TikTok, okay, I show this on YouTube. This weekend I film TikToks, this weekend I do YouTube. During the week I do this TikTok. Like I try to find the flow and I try to find the balance, but honestly it's very difficult. But you know, I don't complain. I just try to push myself through it. I just try to stay motivated. When you guys interact with my videos, when you guys comment, when you guys like all of that keeps me driven. Like when I post, like this last vlog did so well. Thank you guys for that. Thank you guys for subscribing. Like I realized there was a surge in subscription from my last vlog because I obviously spoke about wanting to be monetized, and I would like to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of August so that I can be monetized. And I realized like a lot of you that are watching that realized that you weren't subscribed did start to subscribe. So we have like, I think we need like 50 more subscribers before we reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, pause, subscribe, welcome to the family, and you know, like the video so YouTube can push it out to more people. And you know, like I feel good like when my content go places, because then it feels like I am putting in all this work and I'm seeing the rewards. Because honestly, it's not easy. It is not freaking easy doing a 9 to 5 job, then come home having to film content, edit content, make dinner, prepare yourself for work the next day, edit videos. And editing videos takes a long time. Sometimes one little TikTok might take me a whole hour and some to edit. A YouTube video takes me forever, especially when you see them vlogs with like the nice little aesthetics and the little montage and the music and stuff. Like that takes forever. What I would say is some tips for people who are doing content and working a 9 to 5 is, you know, just give yourself grace sometimes. I know sometimes you want to stay consistent, sometimes you want to push yourself, but just also give yourself grace. And you know, hey guys, so my battery died. I don't know what was the last thing I said. Well, I think I was saying like just give yourself grace. And yeah, so that's it for this video, y'all. That's it. That's where I've been at. I just still feel like the Lord has a bigger calling for me, and I just know that my breakthrough is gonna come very, very soon. So I feel like He is testing me and preparing my character for much bigger things that He have for me. So yeah, like I just embracing it. I just rolling with the punches. I just embracing it and we just rolling. So again, just like thank you guys for always supporting. Thank you guys for watching the content. Thank you guys for engaging. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. Like y'all don't know how much I appreciate it. And yeah, like I love y'all. Like I basically love y'all, and I just can't wait till my content is doing so well that it puts me in a position where I can give back to you guys. It puts me in a position where I can do things for you guys that are, you know, I can do nice things to you. Like I can give back to you. And that's honestly why I love creating content, because I feel like it helps me to connect with people. And sometimes like we don't know what a difference our content can make to people, and like how it can change people's lives, you know, just for people to watch you and feel like they have someone that they can connect to, and they have someone that, oh okay, well I'm not alone, that this person is also going through this. And you know, like even as simple as that sounds, it's not like you're looking for validation in other people. It's just almost that you see people online and you just think that their lives are so perfect, and you just think like, oh my god, I wish I had their life. Like they're so perfect, they get to travel, they get to live in a nice place, they get to do all these nice things. And sometimes people don't know the work that go into it behind the scenes. Sometimes people don't know the things that you go through behind the scenes. And just remember that everybody don't post everything that they go through. People post what they want you to see. People post what other people want to see. And people don't always post the challenges. People don't always post the moments where they're going through it. People don't always post the moments where they feel like everything they try to do, there are obstacles in the way. Like, people don't always post that, but just know that you guys are not alone. Everybody in life has some kind of issue. Everybody in life has their challenges. Everybody in life goes through their ups, their downs. Everybody has their moment. Like, everybody has it. Everybody goes through something. So yeah, that's it for me. I felt like I taught for a very long time, and you know, I'm just looking forward to continue to grow as a person. I'm looking forward to continue to grow as a content creator. I'm looking forward to continue to grow this channel with you guys. I just continue to see, I'm excited to see how far we can get with this YouTube thing, and you know, like, try to take this beyond the island of Barbados and try to spread my wing into the world. So I would appreciate if you guys can just subscribe to the channel, at least like the video if you don't comment, just so YouTube know that you guys are engaging. I would, you know, ask for you to watch the videos all the way to the end, because watch time does have a great effect on whether YouTube is going to push the videos to a further audience or not. If they see you watching the videos to the end, if they see you liking it, if they see you interacting with it, the algorithm is going to say, oh, okay, well, this is a good video, we're going to push it out to more people. But yeah guys, so that's it. That's life. That's where I'm at right now. As I said, I just want to continue to try to stay consistent, give you guys videos every week. Also, let me know like what videos you guys would like to see below in the comments. If you don't want to comment, you can just shoot me a message on IG. You can send me an email. Actually, I think I'm gonna put a Google form in the description box below, and I'll do the form where I can hide your email addresses, because I know some people don't want to interact because they don't want, you know, but I'm curious to know like what else you guys would like to see, what other content you guys would like to see. And you know, like, it works both ways. Like, I can create content, if you guys don't like it, you guys not gonna watch. So I want to know like what you guys want to see, so I'm creating content that you want to see. So yeah, that's it guys. So I love y'all, and I will see you all in the next vlog, which should be next week.